Hi guys, it's Mixa here. I know it's been a minute since I've sat down and talked to you guys on camera and posted a video to my channel, and I'm so sorry for that, but I hope that you guys were able to catch my last video where I talk about how rough my pregnancy was, and it's a very personal video for us. It's a very personal, very hard subject for my husband and I to talk about. But we just open up about how we found out that our baby had indicators for Down syndrome and how we found out that she was actually born with a congenital birth defect. So the reason why I hope you guys watch that video is because I want to move forward with my life and move forward with my channel, and I'm a completely different person than I was when I first started my channel. And if you guys have been following me for that long, then you guys are probably going to notice the differences. I'm not the same person because I've gone through so much in the last year or so, last couple years now. So yeah, I really wanted to make that video as a way to basically just kind of move forward and also to help other people that are going through the same thing. We found ourselves like feeling like nobody else knew what we were going through, like nobody else but us have been going through this. And I'm sure that's not the case, but that's how we felt because we couldn't find anyone else with a similar story to us. And so if our story helps even just one person out there to feel that they're not alone, then I feel like I've done my fair share and I've done something good in my life to help someone else. So yeah, I don't mean to start off kind of like on a down note, but I really do hope that you guys get a chance to watch that video because it is important for me, and it was an important chapter in my life. And yeah, so I'm sorry. So this video is of course a lot more lighthearted, and I've actually gotten a ton of requests to make this video on Instagram because I've actually been sharing with you guys my weight loss journey on Instagram, and I was actually going to keep it private until I finally had hit my goal of losing 30 pounds and then finally share it with you guys. But I just felt so proud and I just wanted to share with you guys what I've been doing, and it was too complicated to talk to you guys individually in a DM because I know I was going to get a ton of the same questions. It's just really kind of complicated. There's a lot of things to this plan, so we're just gonna jump right into it. So I first want to talk about how I was introduced to this plan, because the last kind of weight loss video that I had done was my Teamy video, which completely worked. I still stand by Teamy and their detoxing tea because it totally worked out for me. I ended up losing 10 pounds on that tea. I went from 160 to 150 pounds. But of course, as I've been open on Instagram, if you guys follow me there, you guys know I've been battling and struggling with postpartum depression. And I feel like at one point it just kind of got the best of me and I gained those 10 pounds back. And I was at a point where I just felt like I could find comfort in food, which I never had before, but I felt like I was almost like self-medicating with food because it was the one thing that made me feel good about myself, which, I mean, ironically enough, I ended up feeling terrible every time looking at my body, but in the moment I just felt good. And I started developing obviously these really bad eating habits, and of course I just ended up feeling worse about myself in the end. So I basically found out about the plan through a friend and coworker at the Mac counter that I work at, because I had gotten back from maternity leave and she kept mentioning how she was on this new diet, and I never really saw the extent of her weight loss because she always wore kind of like these cover-ups or cardigans, and she would always kind of hide under looser clothes because that's always how she's dressed. She's always dressed with looser clothes. So I couldn't really see the extent of her weight loss until she came into work one day with like a shirt tucked in to her pants and no cardigan, no cover up. And I just thought she looked amazing, and I wanted to know more because I wanted to see what she was doing and see if I could do that myself. So she told me she had lost 23 pounds. She told me about the plan that she was on and connected me with her health coach. So I ended up trying to find some information on the plan, which is called Optavia. I'm sorry, I didn't even mention that, but it's called Optavia, and it's basically the same exact thing as Medifast, if you've ever heard of that. So I think they're basically like the same company or made by the same company. So I got on a phone call with her health coach, and she asked me a bunch of questions. She asked me, you know, how much sleep I was getting, how much energy I felt that I had, how much, like what would I normally eat in a day, and what do I normally drink, how much water do I drink, which at that point I was drinking zero, literally 0 glasses of water, not one single drop of water I was drinking at that point. I was drinking strictly Coke, and yeah, I know, terrible, really, really bad. She asked like, how soon after I wake up do I have breakfast, and just questions like that. Then she kind of explained to me how the plan works and everything like that, which I will get into because it's kind of crazy when you first start out. It's very overwhelming, I must admit. But basically I told her that I would give her a call back in 2 weeks and get on board with it, because the one drawback of this plan is that it is pretty pricey, and it does come with a really hefty price tag. The first month was exactly $407, which is a lot of money, especially because I've been on it for 2 months and I'm about to be on it for a third. So that's over $1,000 that I've already am gonna put into this, and it's a lot of money, but it works. It definitely works. So before I get into kind of like how it is and everything like that, I wanted to talk to you guys about my actual personal weight loss. So I started at 158.8 pounds, which is again crazy because only like 2 months prior I had been at 150 pounds. So I had put on close to 10 pounds almost since I did my teeny video. And I measured my waist at 40 inches. Right now I'm at 31 inches around my waist, so that's a 9-inch loss, and I am at 135.4 pounds. Really the biggest thing about this, and aside from just losing weight, I feel like I got my life back, because I've never felt this good about myself and this good about life since everything with the baby and my delivery happened and the postpartum depression happened. I was at a point when I started this, I just felt so down. I was in a really dark place, having suicidal thoughts, just feeling really negative, not having the energy to even get out of bed or play with my baby. And now I'm a lot happier. I know I still have a long way to go with my depression, but I'm in a much better place than I was 2 months ago when I started this. I feel like I found this new love for my baby that I didn't even know existed, because it was just so clouded by all of the darkness in my life and all of the depression in my life. And I have so much energy now. Like, I have the energy to play with my baby, which sounds like something everyone has, but and something that everyone takes for granted, but I didn't have that kind of energy when I was dealing with my depression at my worst points. So aside from just losing weight, it definitely helped me gain my life back. And I think that's the most beautiful part about this, is that I feel like I'm myself again, and I feel normal as I can possibly feel while living with postpartum. I want to get back into like the first month. So my first month was exactly $407. It comes with 22 boxes of these things called fuelings, or the types of food that you're going to be eating while you're on the plan. This is an entirely diet-based plan. You don't need to exercise. In fact, they actually suggest that you refrain from exercising at least for the first 2 weeks, so that you can let your body get adjusted to the lower intake of calories. But yeah, it's basically just mainly a diet plan. So You get 22 boxes of these fuelings. You get also a shaker to shake your protein shakes in. You also get some books and some snacks. So the books basically just tell you how to live a healthy life once you're done with the plan, and how to develop healthy habits and all that kind of stuff. So essentially the plan is you want to eat 5 of these fuelings, which again, you get a different array of types of fuelings. There's like this creamy chocolate shake, there's a vanilla one, there's a strawberry one, there's a tropical smoothie, there's a whole load of different types of bars. My favorite is actually the s'mores bar at the moment, but just a ton of different things. There's a frappuccino, a hot chocolate, just a bunch of different types of foods. So your first month, you actually get it chosen for you. There's like 2 different types of like welcome or starter kind of kits, and after that you're going to be able to place your order exactly of what you want to see in your box. So you want to have 5 of these fuelings. They're called fuelings, so you want to have 5, and they're all the same nutritional value. So you could have all 5 bars or all 5 shakes, or you could mix and match. It like the world is your pickle. You choose whatever you want to have for the day. You also want to make sure you drink half of your weight in ounces. So at that point I was 158 pounds. I had to drink minimum of 80 ounces, but I just started drinking a gallon of water, and that's still what I'm doing, drinking basically close to a gallon of water now every day. And then you have 1 lean and green meal, which you do have to cook yourself, and you do have to go purchase your groceries to make that meal yourself. That does not come included in the kit. So add that to the price tag. I mean, you already spent $407 on this food. You still have to purchase your groceries for your additional 1 lean and green meal. And then you have to eat within half an hour of waking up for your first meal, which is going to be like your breakfast, and that's to speed up your metabolism. And you want to eat every 2 to 3 hours. The first time I wasn't really sure like at what point do you want to have your last meal, but I think I've read that you want to have something to eat every 2 to 3 hours until you go to sleep. So if you're up till 2 in the morning, you're gonna have to have something till 2 in the morning every 2 to 3 hours, if that makes any sense. So it's good to get to bed early so that you don't have to worry about trying to, you know, find something else to eat. And then drink a lot of water in between, because you're gonna feel really hungry the first days. One of the biggest side effects is really bad headache, and some people get it, some people don't. I definitely got it. And that's just because of all of the toxins and all of the junk that's leaving your body. It's flushing out, and of course your body's getting adjusted to a lower calorie intake. So before I get into like a little bit in depth into like the lean and green meal and how exactly the plan works, I want to talk a little bit about the science behind it and how you actually lose so much weight so quickly with just diet and no exercise. Essentially what this plan is, it's a different form of the keto diet, which, I was about to drop my phone. And for those of you guys who don't know what a keto diet is, it's basically a diet that is really low in carbs. You consume moderate amounts of proteins and really high fat diet. So basically when you're having a normal diet and eating a ton of pasta, a ton of carbs, that kind of thing, your body basically produces glucose because it's the easiest molecule for your body to convert into energy. And because it's burning glucose in order to make it into energy, it's actually storing fat. So your body also then has to produce insulin in order to kind of moderate all of the glucose in your system and regulate your blood sugar. So it's this really messed up type of way for your body to try to generate energy. So essentially in the keto diet, your body enters a state called ketosis, where your body is gonna generate these ketones as a form of energy. And your body is gonna go into this fat burning state because it's gonna have to burn fat because there's no sugar in your system, or virtually no sugar in your system to burn. So it's gonna instead burn fat, and it's just a really effective way to lose weight. It's just using and kind of tricking your body into losing weight, basically. So of course, I'm not a health coach. I am not a medical professional. So don't take my word for granted. Definitely do your own research, and I will have some links down below where you guys can find some more information on the keto diet and how the science behind it works and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, do your own research. Don't take my word for granted. Just take my words with a grain of salt, please. So the reason why I like to think of it as like a keto diet for dummies is because it takes out all of the hard work for you and it puts it into these really delicious types of foods that you eat. So everything is all accounted for. All of the vitamins and nutrients and carbohydrates and sodium and everything is all counted for you in these meals. And it takes a lot of the thought process out, because going into something like a keto diet takes a lot of planning and a lot of hard work, and I commend anyone who's ever done it, but to me it just seemed way too complicated. So I love that this just does all the work for you, which is why you're paying that hefty price tag. But also there's a lot of vitamins and nutrients in here to really enhance your body and to really get you into a really healthy state. And there's really no need for any additional vitamins or multivitamins or anything like that, because these foods have it all already inside of them. So I want to talk a little bit real quick about the benefits that I've seen, aside from obviously feeling more like myself and feeling like I got my life back and feeling like I can finally beat postpartum depression. My skin has never been this clear and this radiant and this glowy. I've never gotten this many compliments on a daily basis about my skin. I constantly get asked, what foundation do I wear, and all this kind of stuff, and I've never been complimented on my skin as much as I have lately since I started the plan. My skin also is just very clear in general. Like, even if I wipe off my makeup, the hyperpigmentation that was there and the acne that was there is almost virtually gone. My skin just has a glow from within, which is really, really nice. I have more energy. I have been going on walks lately, which you don't have to do, again, any exercise. It's just a whole diet-based plan. You'll lose weight just fine if you don't go on walks, but I feel like it's just become my routine going on walks in the morning, because I have the energy to go on a walk now, where I didn't have that before. And I just overall feel like a healthier person, and I'm developing these healthy eating habits and kind of watching what I eat and what is in my food, and trying to minimize as much processed junk to give to my family and to have around in my home too. So I wanted to talk a little bit more in depth about the lean and green meal, because that was the area and the part of the plan that was really overwhelming and just I felt like way in over my head about. But you basically weigh out your protein. You get to have between 5 to 7 ounces of a type of protein that is on here that's listed as approved on the plan. And then you have 3 servings of your green, which is basically like your vegetables and all that kind of stuff. And there's only a few varieties like of different types of vegetables that you can have, because there's actually a lot of vegetables that are, although really good for you, they're still high in carbs and high in sugars, and not something that you want to have while you're on this fat burning diet. So you can have something called healthy fat servings, which is like avocado or canola oil or something like that. But that is really based upon the type of protein that you consume. So if you have a lean piece of meat, you only get a 5-ounce portion of that piece of meat, and you have no additional healthy fat servings. Whereas if you choose a 6-ounce portion of a leaner meat, then you're able to have 1 healthy fat serving. Again, if you have a 7-ounce portion of a leanest type of meat, then you get to have 2 additional healthy fat servings, because again, the leaner your meat is and the less fat that your protein has, the more additional healthy fats that you can have with your meal. I hope that makes sense, because that was really confusing to me. But on here you get options like fish, like swordfish, trout, halibut. You can have salmon, you can have lamb, you can have chicken, ground turkey. You can have even meatless options. Again, like I said, if you're a vegetarian, there is that kind of option for you, but you could have 14 egg whites or 2 cups of the egg beaters mix. So there's a ton of different options for your healthy fats. There you could have, again, canola oil, low carb salad dressing, avocado, stuff like that. And then for your green option, there's different types of vegetables that have higher carbs, moderate carbs, and lower carbs. And they're all pretty much half a serving, or half a cup is one serving. And again, you want 3 servings for your lean and green meal, except for this little area where it says you have to have 1 cup, which is things like collards, lettuce, butterhead, iceberg, romaine lettuce, mustard greens, spinach, spring mix, watercress. Those types of greens you want to have 1 cup of. And that is pretty much your lean and green meal. Additionally, you get to have on the 5-in-1 plan, you get to have optional snacks, which they do send you some when you order your first month's kit. You'll get, like, I got the popcorn, I don't know if everyone does, but I got the popcorn, I got the cheddar popcorn, and I got the olive oil popcorn, which tastes really, really good. It tastes like regular popcorn. But you also, on top of that, or aside from that, you can have like 3 celery stalks, you can have a sugar-free popsicle, you could have sugar-free Jell-O, which has been my favorite snack to have lately, sugar-free gum or mints, nuts, things like that. You get to have 1 snack a day, which you're definitely gonna need when you first start out. Like the first couple weeks, especially the first couple days, are so hard because you're gonna be so hungry because your body is adjusting from going from like a 2,000 plus calorie diet to like 800 to 1,000 calories is what you consume on a day on this diet. And then you also get optional condiments. So you get 3 condiments a day, and they're all weighed out. So like if you're gonna have, if you want sugar, you could have a 0-calorie sweetener, but you can only have 1 packet. That counts as 1 condiment. You can have 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and that counts as 1 condiment. 1/2 teaspoon of dried herbs and spices counts as 1 condiment. So this was really the area where it just got really overwhelming because I wasn't sure how much seasoning I could have, how much salt I could have, how many cups of coffee I could have, because I could only have 1 pack or 1 packet of 0-calorie sweetener in my coffee. But then I also wanted to add spices to my meals, so I felt like there just wasn't enough condiments for me. But one thing I will say is I was really strict about the plan for like the first couple weeks, and then after that I felt myself being really overwhelmed with how limiting it felt. And so now if I want to have that extra cup of coffee and have another packet of stevia in there, I will. Have been kind of going with the flow more and being a little more easygoing with how I eat, and I'm still losing the weight pretty consistently. I lost 8 pounds the first week. I lost 20 pounds my first month, and now I'm down 3.4 pounds. So I did slow down, but one of the drawbacks is, as a woman who gets her period every month, there is some weight gain with periods. And unfortunately for me, a lot of people, it's ounces that they gain. For me, it was pounds. I gained like 3 pounds or so, or something like that. And then I hit a plateau where I just wasn't losing any weight. And so now I'm finally starting to get back into kind of like that fat burning state, and I'm not carrying these additional pounds from being bloated from my period. But there is some kind of fluctuation because, your weight just fluctuates while you're on your period. One of the things that I did want to mention real quick is that you can eat out while you're on this plan, which is amazing, and they make it super easy for you on the Facebook page and on the MetaFast page. There's like a dining out guide that tells you what you can have at pretty much almost every single fast food or restaurant location, and it gives you all of these options of what you should order that's going to be on plan. But also the Facebook page, a lot of people post where they went to eat, and they post what they had, and a lot of people answer your questions in a really, really quick manner and will let you know what exactly you can and cannot have. Eating out is so much fun now. It's so good. It was dreadful in the beginning because I felt like I didn't know what I was gonna eat or what I could have or what I couldn't and couldn't have, and how I was gonna weigh something while you're in a restaurant. Like, am I supposed to bring my scale with me and weigh out my veggies there and make sure I'm getting enough protein? It's not like that. It's really, like I said, it's really not that strict as it seems like it is when you first get started on it. And lately, my favorite place to eat out is Chipotle. I'll get a salad with double lettuce, double chicken, a little bit of pico because it has onions in there, so you don't want a ton of onions, because onions, actually I don't even think I mentioned this, but you're not supposed to have onions. You can only have it as a condiment, and that's like a really small amount. So I get a little pico, I get a little bit of hot sauce, a little sour cream, a little cheese, and that's it. You could have guacamole if you want to. That's been my favorite go-to whenever I you know, don't have time to cook a meal. Also my favorite go-to lately to make easy meals is just going to Costco, getting a couple of the rotisserie chickens, having 6 ounces of them, portioning them out into 6 ounces of chicken, stuffing it into the freezer, and then pulling it out as I need it with just a simple salad. Or I'll cook up some broccoli, I'll steam up some broccoli, or I'll whip up some cauliflower rice, or I'll roast some eggplant and some zucchini and stuff like that. I make taco boats, zucchini taco boats, eggplant taco boats. I mean, you name it. It's so much fun. You can have just about anything on this plan that's good for you, and your taste buds actually end up changing a lot, and your cravings change a lot. I don't really crave a ton of junk food anymore. I mean, once in a while I'm human, and yeah, I'll want like hot Cheetos and stuff like that, but for the most part, I'll crave really healthy foods. Like, I was craving an eggplant taco boat, and I've never had eggplant in my life, and it was really good. And yeah, it's really different craving healthy foods. It's definitely something that I've never had before in the past, and it's a nice change now. One last thing that I wanted to quickly note is there's something called Nutritional Support. So aside from Facebook and aside from your guide that you get and your health coach, there's an additional type of support that you get called Nutritional Support. And this is amazing because if you're ever curious as to what you can have, because obviously there's only so many vegetables and so many condiments and so many things that they can write that you can have on here that are approved on your plan. There's only so much they can write down on there, but there is a ton of options that aren't in there that you could have. But if you ever have a question, all you have to do is take a picture of any product. So say you have a hot sauce and you want to know if you can have that on plan, but how much you can have on plan. You'll take a picture of the nutrition facts, you'll email it to Nutrition Support, or you can call them on the phone if you want to, but I mean, it's easier calling and emailing them. And then they'll go back to you within like a day and let you know if it's approved on plan or if it's not. And if it is approved on plan, they let you know exactly what the quantity is that you can have to count it as either a condiment or whatever it is. So they're super, super helpful, and there's just a ton of support that you get from a ton of different people. You've got your health coach, you've got nutrition support, you've got the Facebook page and everyone in there and all of the health coaches in that Facebook page. You've got your best friend Google, so you can go onto MetaFast and find your dining out guide and all that kind of stuff there. You can find a ton of stuff here, and then talk to a bunch of people that have been on the plan and what they do and all that kind of stuff. So there's just a ton of different help. There's no way anyone can fail while they're on this plan, because there's just so much help and so many resources out there to help you get you to your goal weight and get you done and out of the plan. That's pretty much my weight loss journey in a nutshell. Again, I wanna lose 30 pounds, and that's what I went into, is wanting to lose 30 pounds. And I wanted to do it in as short amount of time as I possibly could, because it is very expensive. So I believe I'm only gonna do an additional 2 weeks. I've been on the plan for close to 2 months. I definitely recommend it because it's so worth it for your health and for your soul and for your body. It's so good feeling like yourself again. That pretty much wraps up this video. I hope I didn't forget anything, because I'm sure, knowing myself, I probably did. But I know this is a really lengthy, very there's just a ton that goes on with this plan, but it totally works. But I totally get it if I might have not explained something right, or if you might have ended up with just a lot more questions. If you do have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the description box below. Sorry, not the description box, the comment section below. See, that's how you know I haven't made a video in a really long time. But you guys can also find me on Instagram, which is @MixaSecundo. I'm on Twitter @MixaSecundo, Facebook @MixaSecundo. All of my socials are @MixaSecundo. So you guys can follow me anywhere, DM me on there, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can with your answers to your questions if you guys have any. But aside from that, if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you guys have your own weight loss journey videos or your own weight loss stories, share them with me in the comment section below. I would love hearing your stories and how you guys lost your weight and everything like that. I'm really curious to know you guys' stories too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye. Mwah.